Welcome to Frema Language, your daily place to improve your English step by step. In this video, you'll practice advanced English vocabulary for daily conversations. These words will help you express yourself more clearly, sound more natural, and communicate with confidence in real-life situations. Learning advanced vocabulary is important because it takes your English to the next level and helps you speak more fluently and professionally. By watching this video, you'll understand how to use advanced words correctly and naturally in everyday conversations. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with others who want to improve their English. Let's get started. Let's start with the first word, articulate. Articulate means being able to express ideas clearly and effectively. It is an advanced and powerful word used in both professional and everyday conversations when describing someone who speaks well and communicates their thoughts in a clear and confident way. Being articulate is an important skill, especially in meetings, presentations, and discussions. You can use articulate when talking about someone's ability to communicate clearly. For example, in the present tense, you can say, "She is very articulate during meetings," or "He is articulate when explaining ideas." In the past tense, you might say, "She was articulate in her presentation," or "They were articulate during the discussion." For the future, you can say, "She was articulate in her presentation," or "They were articulate during the discussion." For the future, you can say, "She will be more articulate with practice," or "He will become articulate over time." It is often used to describe people and their speaking or communication skills. Using articulate correctly helps you sound more advanced and professional in English. A very common and useful sentence is, "He is very articulate," which you can use to describe someone who speaks clearly and confidently. Let's continue with the second word, concise. Concise means giving a lot of information in a few words without unnecessary details. It is an important and advanced word used in professional and everyday communication, especially when writing emails, reports, or speaking in meetings. Being concise helps you communicate your ideas clearly and quickly, which is highly valued in the workplace. You can use concise when describing communication that is short but clear and complete. For example, in the present tense, you can say, "I keep my messages concise," or "She is concise in her explanations." In the past tense, you might say, "His report was concise," or "They gave a concise summary." For the future, you can say, "I will keep my answer concise," or "We will make the presentation concise." It is often used with words like message, report, explanation, or email. Using concise correctly helps you sound more professional and effective in communication. A very common and useful sentence is, "Keep it concise," which you can use when advising someone to be clear and brief. Let's continue with the third word, insightful. Insightful means showing deep understanding or a clear and thoughtful way of thinking about something. It is an advanced word often used in professional and academic situations when someone shares ideas or comments that are meaningful and show strong understanding. Being insightful is a valuable skill, especially in discussions, meetings, and problem solving. You can use insightful when describing comments, ideas, or observations that show deep thinking. For example, in the present tense, you can say, "She gives insightful feedback," or "He is insightful during discussions." In the past tense, you might say, "That was an insightful comment about the project," or "They made an insightful observation." For the future, you can say, "She will provide insightful ideas," or "We will have more insightful discussions." It is often used with words like comment, feedback, idea, or analysis. Using insightful correctly helps you sound more intelligent and thoughtful in English. A very common and useful sentence is, "That's very insightful," which you can use to compliment someone's deep understanding. Let's continue with the fourth word, proactive. Proactive means taking action before problems happen, instead of waiting for them to occur. It is a very important and advanced word used in workplaces and professional environments to describe someone who plans ahead, takes initiative, and solves issues early. Being proactive is highly valued because it helps prevent problems and improves efficiency. You can use proactive when describing someone's attitude or approach to work and responsibilities. For example, in the present tense, you can say, he is proactive in solving issues, or she is proactive at work. In the past tense, you might say, he was proactive during the project, or they were proactive in handling the situation. For the future, you can say, he will be proactive in managing tasks, or we will be more proactive next time. It is often used to describe people, behavior, or actions in professional settings. Using proactive correctly helps you sound more professional and forward-thinking in English. A very common and useful sentence is, be proactive, which you can use to encourage taking action early and staying prepared. Let's continue with the fifth word, meticulous. Meticulous means being very careful and paying close attention to every detail. It is an advanced word often used in professional and academic situations to describe someone who works with great accuracy and precision. Being meticulous is important when tasks require careful checking, such as writing reports, analyzing data, or completing detailed work. You can use meticulous when describing someone's careful way of working. For example, in the present tense, you can say, she is meticulous when preparing reports, or he is meticulous in his work. In the past tense, you might say, she was meticulous with the details, or they were meticulous during the project. For the future, you can say, she will be meticulous in her analysis, or we will be meticulous with this task. It is often used to describe people, work style, or tasks that require attention to detail. Using meticulous correctly helps you sound more professional and precise in English. A very common and useful sentence is, he is very meticulous, which you can use to describe someone who is careful and detail-oriented. Let's continue with the sixth word, adaptable. Adaptable means being able to adjust to new situations, changes, or challenges easily. It is an advanced and very useful word in professional and everyday situations, especially in workplaces where things can change quickly. Being adaptable shows that you are flexible, open to change, and able to handle different situations successfully. You can use adaptable when describing a person's ability to adjust and respond to change. For example, in the present tense, you can say, she is adaptable in different situations, or he is adaptable at work. In the past tense, you might say, she was adaptable during the changes, or they were adaptable in a difficult situation. For the future, you can say, she will be adaptable in new environments, or we will be adaptable to new challenges. It is often used to describe people, skills, or attitudes in changing environments. Using adaptable correctly helps you sound more professional and flexible in English. A very common and useful sentence is, being adaptable is important, which you can use to emphasize the value of adjusting to change. Let's continue with the seventh word, collaborative. Collaborative means working well with others to achieve a common goal. It is an advanced and important word used in workplaces, teams, and group activities where cooperation and teamwork are necessary. Being collaborative shows that you are open to sharing ideas, listening to others, and working together effectively. You can use collaborative when describing teamwork or a way of working with others. For example, in the present tense, you can say, she is collaborative in team projects, or he takes a collaborative approach at work. In the past tense, you might say, the team was collaborative, or they used a collaborative method to solve the problem. For the future, you can say, we will be more collaborative, or the company will adopt a collaborative approach. It is often used with words like approach, environment, team, or effort. Using collaborative correctly helps you sound more professional and team-oriented in English. A very common and useful sentence is, we need a collaborative approach, which you can use to suggest working together to achieve better results. Let's continue with the eighth word, efficient. Efficient means working in a well-organized and productive way, without wasting time or effort. It is an advanced and very useful word used in workplaces and daily life when talking about systems, people, or processes that produce good results quickly and effectively. Being efficient is important because it helps save time, energy, and resources. You can use efficient when describing something that works smoothly and productively. For example, in the present tense, you can say, "She is efficient at work," or "This system is efficient." In the past tense, you might say, "The process was efficient," or "They were efficient in completing the task." For the future, you can say, "This method will be efficient," or "We will be more efficient next time." It is often used with words like system, process, method, or work style. Using efficient correctly helps you sound more professional and organized in English. A very common and useful sentence is, "This is more efficient," which you can use when comparing better ways of doing something. Let's continue with the ninth word, credible. Credible means trustworthy and believable. It is an advanced word often used in professional, academic, and everyday situations when talking about information, sources, or people that can be trusted. Being credible is very important because it shows reliability and honesty, especially when sharing facts or making claims. You can use credible when describing something or someone that can be believed. For example, in the present tense, you can say, "This source is credible," or "She is a credible expert." In the past tense, you might say, "The report was credible," or "They were seen as credible professionals." For the future, you can say, "This will be a credible solution," or "He will become a credible leader." It is often used with words like source, information, report, or expert. Using credible correctly helps you sound more professional and reliable in English. A very common and useful sentence is, "This is a credible source," which you can use when talking about trustworthy information. Let's continue with the 10th word, innovative. Innovative means introducing new ideas or methods, especially in a creative and effective way. It is an advanced word commonly used in workplaces, business, and technology when talking about new approaches, solutions, or improvements. Being innovative is important because it helps organizations grow, solve problems, and stay competitive. You can use innovative when describing ideas, products, or people that bring something new. For example, in the present tense, you can say, "They use innovative methods," or "She is innovative in her work." In the past tense, you might say, "The company was innovative," or "They developed innovative solutions." For the future, you can say, "We will create innovative ideas," or "The team will be more innovative." It is often used with words like solutions, ideas, methods, or approach. Using innovative correctly helps you sound more professional and creative in English. A very common and useful sentence is, "They are known for innovative solutions," which you can use to describe creativity and originality.